The Utilities menu. Utilities have been around for a long time in the BrailleSense products. And if we use the most literal definition of the word, of course we go to the dictionary by pressing backspace, enter, and D together.
Webster's English Dictionary keyword, edit box.
I'll type in the word utility.
U-T-I-L-T-Y.
Followed by enter.
Searching. Utility 1, util, I, Taiwan, multi-read edit box.
And I'm going to press enter G to read from the
Note
cursor.
1, the quality or state of being useful. Some experts question the utility usefulness of the procedure. A plan without much practical economic utility to a service such as
We've got a lot of information there. Let's see what Google has to say about it. Hey, Google, what's the definition of utility?
Here's the definition of utility. The state of being useful, profitable, or beneficial.
The state of being useful, profitable, or beneficial. Well, I'd say that while not profitable, the utilities menu on the BrailleSense is certainly beneficial and useful. So let's just go ahead and bail out of Google Assistant here.
Utility 1, util,
I just pressed
Taiwan, multi-read edit box.
Space with Z, and I'm going to press it a second time.
Sense Dictionary, D.
And I see that I've got Sense Dictionary selected here. Excuse me. I'm going to press this function key F1.
File Manager, F.
And I'm going to press the letter U because Utilities menu is actually found right off of the main menu. And I can navigate down to it or just press the letter U.
Calculator, C.
And I'm just going to go quickly down through here and then maybe revisit a couple things that are of special interest to me and maybe you. I have no way of knowing that, though. So we've got the calculator. It is a scientific calculator. I'm going to go ahead and space dot forward down through the rest of the options in here.
BrailleSense Math, M.
BrailleSense Math, which is actually our graphing calculator, which is demonstrated on our creating content and editing section.
Display time and date, D.
Display time and date, that's kind of self-explanatory. A lot of these things can be accomplished with a keystroke. For example, space with T for time and date.
World clock, O.
World clock, we can go in there and see, specify different parts of the world that are of interest to us where we want to see what time it is.
Display compass heading, H.
Compass heading, it's really cool. It's got a compass on it. If you know that you're going to go for a walk and you don't really need a lot of you don't need a lot of details about where you're going. You're not using a GPS app. You can simply use the compass application.
Wake up alarm, A.
Wake up alarm. So you can we can take a look at that. That's kind of self-explanatory. It wants to basically you can set yourself an alarm to get you up in the morning. I've used it many times.
Stopwatch, W.
Stopwatch, again, self-explanatory.
Terminal for screen reader, S.
There's our terminal for screen reader, and this is where we absolutely need to be if we want to connect to an external device and use our Braille display for both input and output. We must be in terminal for screen reader.
Display network status, N.
Display the network status.
Display power status, B.
Display the power status. Again, hotkeys for a lot of this stuff. I don't have them all memorized, but they are in a command summary.
Format, F.
You can format our discs to work on our BrailleSense. Generally, when you get them from the store, chances are they're just going to work.
Sleep timer, J.
There's our sleep timer, so if we're listening to a book, let's say, or some music, we can set the sleep timer to turn off their BrailleSense or put it into sleep mode in, say, half hour, 45 minutes.
Macro Manager, R.
There's our Macro Manager. The Macro Manager allows us to take a sequence of events, things that we do on the BrailleSense all the time, which requires a number of steps. We will do a section on the Macro Manager, but suffice it to say, it is a way of automating a sequence of events. I'm going to continue down.
Upgrade BrailleSense firmware. U.
And finally, this is where the upgrade for the BrailleSense firmware happens. Either offline, you download it and install the upgrade, or you can do it online. And as usual with all the HIMS products, firmware updates are always free. So I'm going to jump to the top, space 1, 2, 3.
Calculator. C.
And let's just go into the calculator here.
Start calculator. 0.
So let's say I want to figure out a tip on a bill in a restaurant. Let's say the restaurant charged me $75 for the privilege of...
G.
Oh, that's a G.
G.
I'm doing lowercase here. Dropped for numbers. Instead of G, I'm going to do dots 2, 3, 5, 6.
7. 5.
And let's say plus
Plus.
20%.
2. 0. 15.
And I hear 15 is 20% of 75. I'm just going to pretend that I'm that generous. I'll press enter on that.
90.
And of course, 75 plus 15 is 90. Let's go into the menu system for the calculator application.
General functions. G. Dialog enter G menu item.
And just kind of down arrow or space stop forward down through these different items.
Memory functions. V. Pull down menu.
There are memory functions,
Sign functions. S. Dialog enter S menu item.
sign functions.
Cosine functions. I. Dialog enter I menu item.
It basically brings me back to my nightmare classes where this device would have been so much more beneficial than what I had back then.
Tangent functions. T.
Tangents.
Dialog enter T. Logarithm functions.
Logarithm
L. Dialog enter
functions.
convert unit. U. Dialog
Convert
enter U menu
units.
item. Fraction option. F. Dialog menu item.
Fractions,
Return formula. R. Enter R
return
menu item.
formula,
Calculation history. H. Dialog enter H menu item.
calculator history, calculation history. So we've got a lot of things in here, and let's just say that I want to go and backtrack and see some of the calculations that I've done previously. I'll just press enter here since I'm here. Otherwise, the hotkey is enter with H for history.
Calculation history dialog. 75 15 91 12 list item.
And there you see the last equation that I just did. So I could just arrow through here.
SQRT 99 4868329805 2
And there's
12
another
list item.
case where I got the square root of 90.
75 15 93 12 list.
Okay,
SQRT
so let's go back up.
75 15 91 12 list item.
And I'm going to press Enter C to copy this.
Copy complete. 75 15 91 12 list item.
And it's like, oh, okay, so there's that. I want to record that. So I'm going to go ahead and do the hotkey, which is F1N from anywhere to launch
Task name Notepad.
the notepad.
Top of document.
And I'm already at the top of the document. I'll press Enter V to paste.
75 15 90.
And there's my equation. Okay, so F2, F3 to kind of what I call Alt-Tab over.
Task name Calculator.
And there's the
75 15
calculator.
91 12 list item.
Let's go back to Utilities.
File Manager F. Calculator C.
And we're back at the top of the list. I still got my calculator open, but we're going to go down through
BrailleSense Math M.
BrailleSense Math. I'll press Enter on that.
1 list item.
We can actually do these equations in the math editor within the word processor, but I'm just going to go ahead and do a quick and dirty 2x
Numbers 2.
or 2y
Y. 2y.
equals. So I'm going to press 4 6 followed
Period.
by 1 3, which is
Equal.
the equal sign,
Equal.
and I'm going to type 3x
Numbers 3. X. 3x.
times
Multi.
2. Yeah, 2.
Numbers 2.
Okay, so I've got this here,
Multi 2.
and now as I'm typing this visually, if you're watching the video, you should have seen the associated graph. if I want to render this in some form that I can access as a blind person,
File, F, pull down, edit, E, pull down menu, graph, G, output, O, pull
I'll go
down
to
menu,
Output.
display tactile graph, T, enter T menu
I've
item,
got two choices here: Display Tactile Graph
send to embosser, P,
or
enter
Send
P
to the
menu item,
Embosser. I will, since I
display
don't have
tactile graph, T,
an
enter
embosser
T menu,
connected
please
at the
select at least
moment.
one graph. 2y equal 3x multi 211 list
Oh
item.
yes, I got to select the graph by pressing.
Selected 2y equal 3x
Enter
multi
space on
211
it.
list item.
Now let me do this. Go into the menus.
File, F, edit, E, graph, output, O, pull down,
Output.
display tactile graph, T, enter T menu item. Selected 2y equal 3x multi 211 list item.
Okay, and I'm immediately brought to the intersection of the X and the Y axis here. And as I down arrow, I see I'm basically not down arrowing, I'm pressing the scroll down buttons, I should say. I see the Braille going to the left, and if I scroll up, I see it coming back to the to the right, and I see where my intersecting, there it is. Okay, so you, visually, if you can see this, you get the picture that you can literally just press the scroll buttons and see what's going on with this graph. If I'd like to, I can press space E to
Selected 2y equal 3x
go back
multi
out to the
211 list
selected
item.
graph, and then I'm going to just go ahead. I don't have my word processor open right now. Let's see if the keystroke backspace enter G opens the word processor and places this, or rather, enter G opens the word processor and places this graph inside.
You can
of
only
it.
copy graphs when the word processor is running in the background.
Okay,
Selected 2y
well that
equal
answers
3x
that
multi
question.
211 list item.
I'm going to press F1 with W because W is the hotkey. And
Task name, word processor.
I'm already in the
Top
word
of document.
processor. I'll press F2, F3.
Task name, calculator. 70 task name, notepad. Task name, BrailleSense math.
And
Selected
I
2y
just did
equal
that
3x
until I got
multi
back to
211
BrailleSense
list
math.
item.
And so let's go ahead and press enter with G now.
Successfully inserted math graph.
So it successfully inserted the math graph into the word processor. Okay, so that's really cool. But like I said, you can actually do that from within the math editor in the word processor.
File manager, F.
Back to utilities. I pressed F1 to get to the main menu.
Calculator, C.
And let's go down
BrailleSense
here.
math, display time and date, D.
Display time and date. That's exciting, right? You can press space T from anywhere.
09:56, 13 a.m. static.
I see it's on 9:56 a.m. And if I tab through here,
Wednesday, June 9th, 2021 static.
I can get the date as well. So I'm going to press space E to get out of here.
Display time and date, D. World clock, O.
There's world clock. So if you've got family members or friends in other parts of the world and you want to give them a call, make sure that it's not too late. Most of us can do this kind of thing in our head, but sometimes you got a lot of times that you want to keep track of.
09:56, 45 a.m.
In my
Chicago
case,
CST 13 list item.
I'm in Central Time in the U.S., but I'm always coordinating meetings with other parts of the world, such as
11:56, 58 p.m. Seoul GMT 09
Korea.
0023 list item.
It's almost midnight there.
03:57,
Tomorrow.
8 p.m. London GMT 33
And
list
I've also
item.
got London here. If I tab through this dialogue,
Enter a dialog
I can
button.
add a different time.
Add dialog. Time zone, Midway GMT 11:00 combo box.
There's Midway GMT.
Time zone, Honolulu HST combo
And let's
box.
say I want to see what time it is in Hawaii. I'll just go ahead and
Confirm button.
confirm this.
04:57, 32 a.m. Honolulu HST
And
44
I
list
see
item.
that it is actually 5 hours earlier for Honolulu, Hawaii. So that's really a handy thing. I'm going to go ahead and press space E to get out, or space Z rather.
World clock, O.
Okay, and space down.
Display compass heading, H.
Display compass heading. So This is really nice if you're a bit lost somewhere and you know that you need to go north to get back on track. You can go into the
88
display
East static box.
compass heading, start walking, and it'll just keep adjusting as you're walking. And
88 East static box.
in this case, I'm 88 degrees east, facing
88
east.
East static box.
Okay, I'm going to get out of here.
Display compass heading H.
I am going to space dot 4 down.
Wake up alarm A.
Wake up alarm, that's self-explanatory. Set an alarm for yourself in the morning, gets you up. I use it quite frequently, even over my phone
Stopwatch W.
when I'm on the road. The stopwatch, again, self-explanatory. You want to time an event, you can certainly come in here and do that.
Terminal for screen reader S.
Terminal for screen reader. We'll do a section on that, but suffice it to say that if you want to connect with another device and use your BrailleSense as a Braille display with a PC or an iPhone or something like that, this is where that has to happen. So nothing happens with connectivity with other devices unless you are in the terminal for screen reader application. What's nice about this is that when you do connect with something, let's say an iPhone, for example, because it is a application or a utility, it actually runs as an application. So you can press that dot or F2, F3 keystroke, or bring up your task list or your list of running applications with F1 and F4, and you'll see that terminal for screen reader is in that list. So it's a really nice way to get back and forth between your Android applications, your HIMS applications, and your whatever connected device you have, such as an iPhone or a Google phone or a computer. I'm going to go ahead and down arrow here.
Display network status N.
Again, there are keystrokes for all of this stuff. Display network status. See if you've got a connection established.
Display power status B.
The power status, how much power you have left.
Format F.
You can format your thumb drives, SD card, even your flash disk if you want to. Don't do that. But you can certainly format your flash disk, not your flash disk, but your SD cards. Yeah.
Sleep timer J.
This is a sleep timer, so if you're listening to a book or some music and you want it to stop playing after, say, a half hour, 45 minutes, you can set that here.
Macro manager R.
The macro manager is a way of recording a sequence of events, and it can be anything that you can do on the BrailleSense. And if it's something that you do frequently, it can be a real time saver. And all you have to do is record it and then issue a keystroke to carry it out, and it can save you a lot of time.
Upgrade BrailleSense firmware U.
And here's the upgrade BrailleSense option. It's the last option in our utility menu, and that's exactly what it is used for, is upgrading firmware when it comes out. If you're on our announcements list, you'll be notified when there's a firmware update. Perhaps there's some stability or bug fixes, and perhaps there's some additional features that we want you to have. So we will send out a notification that the update is available to either be downloaded and installed offline, or you can go in
Upgrade online combo box
and upgrade online. Upgrades from HIMS have always been free, and that remains the case. So whenever an update comes out, we do encourage you to go ahead and grab the newest update, because I think that over time you're going to be surprised and impressed with the number of features that will potentially be introduced into this product. And so that is the utility menu, and if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call at area code 512-837-2000. Press option 1 for technical support. Press option 2 for sales. Alternatively, you can reach us at sales@hims-inc.com or support hymns.inc.com. Those are the email addresses, or you can visit us online at www.hymns-inc.com. Thanks for listening.